Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday, it's 9 o'clock, it's live. One of the world's greatest rugby TV shows ever made since the invention of television, certainly. Anyway, to get back to the show then, right away. My esteemed panel tonight will go in order of protocol. The great, legendary Mr. Herman Abrams. Hello, Mr. H.
Good evening, David.
You look very happy today?
Yeah, it's been a very good day.
A busy day?
Yeah, busy but a good day.
Busy but good. Jerome Parvater, Head of Talent Identification at Western Province Rugby Football Union. How are you?
Very good, JP. Thank you.
You're looking healthy and fit there, my man. Jy oefen baie saam met die spelers as jy daai drills doen, né?
Moet oefen, JP.
Raak maar moeg op een van die dag.
Je moet 'n voorbeeld stel.
Moet 'n voorbeeld stel, ja. And Morgan Newman, former Springbok player, former Stormers player. Welcome back to the panel.
How's it, Chiefs? Thanks for having me. It's good to be
Pretty
here.
good. Nice to have you here, as always. Good to have an expert, someone who's running the field with the Stormers. Mr. H is running the field with the Stormers, but normally it's with something on the side of the field.
Or a mic.
Or with a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
We always see you with a walkie-talkie. What is that about, actually, when we're watching the Stormers play at Newlands? You're always standing at the tunnel, looking after things. What are you doing?
I just keep control there
Right?
and listen to any eventuality that might be happening somewhere in the stadium.
Okay.
And the link between the medics and all those people.
Make sure everything's coordinated.
And the presidential suite. And
Oh yeah. I thought you just on the walk to say if you need a boerewors roll, you can organise. You know?
yeah, well, that can be done.
That can be done as well.
Yeah,
that can be done. Let's get straight into it, folks. It was, of course, a massive match over the weekend. Nice start for the Stormers. It is Super 15 time, and it was a jam-packed Newlands over the weekend. Great result then for them. Coming on top of the Hurricanes. Morks, how was your Super Bowl prediction, by the way? Did you went with the Hurricanes by?
I went Stormers actually. I went Stormers,
you went Stormers, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, we all went Stormers.
I went Stormers by 15 and they won by 30.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only place I made some points over the weekend. The rest of the time I think I was in a bit of trouble.
What is your feeling on the match?
Look, I think, I always thought the Stormers were going to start slowly.
Yeah.
Because, first game, get all the niggles and the sort of the nerves out of the way. But they ended nicely, and I think they can take a lot of positives out of the game going into the Sharks this weekend.
Yeah. Jerome, the injury to Skulk, obviously a massive blow right in the beginning.
Yeah, I'd say it was, yes, but as we were saying last week, we were talking about Kulisi.
Yeah.
I mean, when he went onto the field, it's like he almost didn't miss Skulk.
That's true.
On the field.
That's true.
Yeah, it just shows that we've got the depth in the youngsters, so that's good.
Medial ligament tear. Morgan, I mean, if there's anyone I should ask about knee injuries, you're the resident expert. I'm beginning to think that people might employ you for medical advice in the future when it comes. I mean, you've done your ACL and you've done your medial. Maybe just explain to folks a little bit between a medial ligament and an ACL in terms of knee injuries.
Well, I mean, your ACL is one that holds your knee together. So that's 6 months straight.
Yeah.
And then your medial obviously is the inside ligament of your knee. And then that's like I say, 4 to 6 weeks if you're lucky. If you do your rehab and you keep it, because that's all what they'll do with Skulk without operating is that they'll keep his knee as still as possible.
Yeah.
And hope for that ligament to reattach itself. Obviously, depending on the tear, depending on the length of the injury. So,
yeah.
I mean, you can get away with 4 to 6 weeks if you on a push. So I reckon, look,
Is
8 weeks.
that 4 to 6 weeks before you actually start playing again, or 4 to 6 weeks before you're allowed to start practicing and stuff?
Well, look, I mean, you don't lose too much fitness in that 4 to 6 weeks if you try and keep active upper body and that kind of thing. So what'll probably happen is you'll probably be in the cast for about 3 to 4 weeks. And then from 4 to 6 is where they just get him, sort of running and seeing if the knee's solid again. And they'll strap him up and then see how he goes. And probably in contact sessions at training and then take it from there.
Yeah.
But generally, I think you look at about 8 weeks. So, yeah, we'll probably almost Skulk for about, I reckon, 6 to 8 weeks.
Jerome, wat het jy gedink van die game, Stormers Hurricanes?
Ek dink dis jammer dat ons nie ons punte gekry het nie, want ek dink oor die naweek se wedstryde kyk was ons die span, die enigste span wat regtig waar kon ons bonuspunte gekry het. Maar ek dink dis 'n wen wat goed was. En ja, as jy moet kyk na die hele week se wedstryde, as jy Stormers moet vat, ball in play was 29 minute. En
dis hoog.
Dis nie, as jy met die average tyd op ball in play is 38 minute, so dis baie laag vir dit, maar omdat JP, ek dink omdat dit die skeieregters, daar's nuwe reëls nou in die scrums by die breakdowns is daar nuwe reëls en elke keer as daar nuwe reëls inkom en dit is veronderstel om die game vinniger te maak, maar met die nuwe reëls, die skeieregters kom en dan maak hulle dit eintlik stadig, want al die wedstryde as jy kan kyk, die vinnigste of die langste ball in play was 37 minute die week. So ek dink dit sal begin optel van die week af. Die skeieregters het nou al hulle is uitgesort wat hulle wil gehad en gesien het. So hopelik gaan dit uitgesort word by die week.
Ek het met die Hurricanes ouens na die game gepraat en hulle het gesê hulle het nog nooit in hulle lewe so baie penalties gesien nie.
Ja, hulle as jy die penalty kant moet kyk, is die Stormers het 10 strafskoppe afgestaan wat baie min is, dis average, dis as 'n coach dis eintlik wat jy wil hê in 'n game.
Ja.
Die Hurricanes het 29 straf en vryskoppe afgestaan en met 13 man gespeel op 'n tyd.
Ja.
En hulle het hulle het 'n halfuur omtrent gespeel, net Naude toe gaan nog 'n man af.
Ja.
'n halfuur omtrent gespeel met 14 man.
Ja.
So dit is moeilik. En ja, ek dink daar was 'n paar negatiewe goed gewees in die game van die Hurricanes se kant af. En dis hoekom ek dink die Stormers moes regtig waar gegaan het om hulle bonuspunte te kry.
Ja.
Met 13 man op die veld.
Bietjie veilig, miskien bietjie veilig begin. Ek meen Kulisi het gesê en ook vir my na die game, hy was 'n klein bietjie senuweeagtig, maar hy's happy met hoe hy gegaan het.
Ja, ek dink enige ouens die eerste keer is en hy speel so, maar ek dink na mate die wedstryd aangegaan het, kon hy gevoel het, hy soort van in beheer van, soos die Hurricanes se coach ook gesê het, is dat hy het eintlik baie meer lewe kom in die game en sit.
Ja.
Hy het eintlik vir hulle redelik besig gehou. So.
Mr. Aitsevaar was pretty good at Newlands. A lot of people.
Was good, and the one thing that was impressive was the young players.
Yeah.
Kulisi, Kitsov, and the lock.
It's a bit. It's a bit is on everybody's name at the moment, lips at the moment.
It was fantastic. So, yeah, it looks...
It was interesting talking to Henny Becker over the week at the School of Excellence, saying that he went to, I think he went to Belleville or Voortrekker or one of these high schools where they do their school scouting, and he found Etzebeth playing centre in the second team. And he said, okay, I'll bring you into the School of Excellence to come for training, but you're going to come you're going to come as a lock. I mean, who would have thought that as a talent scout that you go and find a player playing in the second team, playing centre, and you go, come here, you're going to be my next Stormers lock. Ek meen, Jerome, julle moet seker bly wees om my ou soos daai te kan vind.
Ja, nee, ek meen, maar definitief met sy lengte, daar is net een posisie wat hy kan speel, so ek dink enige een wat 'n bietjie weet van rugby af.
Hy het baie gegroei die laaste paar jare, man.
Ja, hy was maar baie skraal, maar ek wil die program waar hy op was, het hy nog baie opgetel en
Ja, nee, wel die jump program is natuurlik vir baie belangrik en hulle eet so baie van die nutrition supplements dat hulle baie spiere optel in die off season.
JP, having played centre, just think of the skills that he's got.
Yeah. Well, it's similar to Pierce Spies. I mean, Morgs, you've played against Pierce Spies a few times. The guy breaks off the as an eighth man, and he actually used to play wing in his day.
Yeah, I mean, look, as an eighth man, you end up on the outskirts of the field, sort of as a link and all that kind of thing. So, I mean, with the skills that he's got, you can see, I mean, he's a step ahead of every other Lucy.
You're talking about Etzebeth now.
I'm talking about Pierce Spies.
Yeah, I don't care about Pierce Spies. I'm talking about Etzebeth now being a centre who used to play a lock who used to play centre.
I mean, you need the skills. I mean, and you can see how he carries ball in the midfield, how he can offload in the tackle. All those kind of things come from playing centre. So, he's...
As you would know.
Oh, well, as I try.
Yeah. You were not maybe a lock in your day, and then the coach came along and said, I'll bring you in, but you're not going to play lock. You're too short. You're going to play centre.
If anything, you're probably a hooker, James.
I think you'd make a pretty good hooker.
No, slow down.
Let's take a look at some of the other results then, of course, over the weekend. A tight game then between the Lions and the Cheetahs. All of the points by Elton Jantjies. 27-25 win for the Lions over the Cheetahs.
It's close.
Yeah, there you see the results up there. Did you guys expect that? Who called the Lions?
I called the draw.
You called the draw, yeah.
So I don't think I'm far off.
Yeah, you actually were not far off. At one stage, it nearly looked like it was going to go in that direction. Jerome?
I called the Cheetahs.
Yeah.
And they were, up until the end, when their fly-off missed the kick.
I was about to say, who's that young fly-off that went off at one stage?
Yellow card, he went off. And and then they missed. They had a kick, but the flag was off. The kicker was off, and that's where the Lions took the game.
And that was it. But I mean, how do you analyze a game like that where the Lions don't get over the park at all? Everything is penalties. I mean, Elton Judges broke the Super 15 record for points scored in a Super 15 game through penalties.
Yeah, that's why JP, as I said, is the way the refs this weekend was that you could see there was just penalties and everybody was kicking and it wasn't good rugby.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they will.
Maybe all these laws are starting to change things. Yes. Then of course.
Just imagine, Marius Jonker gave those penalties to against the Stormers.
To the Stormers. Yeah, but I must say, Joe Peterson back from Bayonne. You can see he's got a nice, steady boot on him. He slots it well. He doesn't take too many steps backward. It sort of reminds me of how Percy Montgomery used to kick in the World Cup. He only takes 3 steps. He's not too worried about distance and gentle like a golfer, puts it over the post. It's kicking nicely, Morgs.
Yeah, it's kicking very nicely, Jeps. I think it brings a lot of stability to the back three. I think, without disrespecting Conrad when he was there. Joe's just brought that whole calming, sort of attitude that he's got that looks lackluster, but, he's solid in all aspects of his game. Solid on defense, great attacking player. And obviously with his boot that you've seen, he's kicking really well. So
yeah. Jerome, so you stem is up?
Ja nee, definitief JP en ek dink baie van die jong spelers kan leer by 'n ou soos Joe. Want dit kom nie van self nie. Dis oefen en oefen en oefen.
Hoeveel van daai het jy dink jy het hy takties geleer met sy klub by Bayonne waar hy oorsee was?
Ek dink soos die omstandighede daar is, moet jy kan nie van oral af hardloop nie.
Dis 'n stadiger game.
So die velde is nat, dit sneeu op party plekke.
Ja.
So jy moet uit 'n posisie uit kan kom met jou skoppe en strafskoppe is baie belangrik in daai omstandighede. En dis hoekom dit vir hom baie maklik is hierso om op droë velde te kan skop, maar nog altyd dis oefen en oefen en oefen. Dis hoekom hy so goed is daarmee.
Let's take a look at some of the other results then over the weekend, if we can have a look at those results there again. The Waratahs 21-25, going down to the Reds at least, 25-21. The Highlanders beating the Chiefs 23-19. The Bulls beating the Sharks 18-13. The Brumbies 19-17 over the Force. And the Blues going down by 1 point to the Crusaders. Now, those predictions of ours, and we're going to get down to those predictions and see how we were doing. It's of course, our pool, folks, but incidentally, if you want to go to the Super Brew prediction pool and join us, all right, you can join it in as many pools as you like. So if you're out there, just go to superbrew.com and go and join our pool. Do a search for Cape Rugby TV. There's about 85 of us out there at the moment who are playing in this pool. It's great fun doing some predictions. We'll take a look at some of the predictions and who's on top during the course of the show. Of course, our overall winner at the end of the season is going to win for themselves a signed a DHL Stormers jersey. So it's a good bit of fun. The Reds over the Waratahs, 25-21. I took the Reds.
I took the Reds too.
Anyone else? Did you guys all everyone take the Reds?
I had the Waratahs.
You took the Waratahs. Well, you can't be perfect.
Last 30 seconds.
Yes.
Last 30 seconds.
I reckon this is going to get competitive.
I'll be honest with you. When I made my Reds prediction, I hadn't actually looked to see who they were going to play against because I knew the Reds had a good season last year. So I figured they'd probably come off and have another good season. But if I'd seen that they were going to play against the Waratahs, and I made a rash prediction, if I'd seen they were going to play against the Waratahs, I would have thought about it twice because I think the Waratahs are still a class outfit. Highlanders over the Chiefs. Highlanders, I think they had home ground advantage there, was it? That's right. So 23-19 for them. Then, of course, the Derby match, the Sharks Bulls. That game looked like it just took forever to get going. There was absolutely no score until half-time. And there you nearly had your half-time draw. That would have been a good bet.
You were all wrong.
No, I took the Bulls as much as I always bet against the Bulls because I generally am not a fan of the Bulls, as you would have worked out after my Pierre Spies comment, especially now that he's wearing that silly headband of his. But I mean, they have gotten rid of Bucky's Buerta now, so no, there's a potential chance that I might like the Bulls a bit more. Victor Matfield's gone, there's more chance that I could add another tick box to the Bulls. That scrum half that they had as well, he's gone now. So they've gotten rid of pretty much a lot of the old guards. I mean, it's a fresh team, Jerome. that's right. I mean, I'm not talking that I'm now going to start liking the Bulls. It's never going to happen. But they do have a fairly new team on the park.
No, they have, and they also have got good youngsters coming through. That Chandra Kruger.
Chandra Kruger, yeah.
He's looks like he's going to be better than
well, he was down here for a while, of course. I actually helped him. He was with Stanley Robenham and the boys, Paul Ruspo, and then he went to Northampton.
Yeah. So I think he had a massive game.
Yeah.
And it's really good for the Bulls to see. I mean, they always back themselves come line-out time, and they've got a guy that can really do Victor's job.
Well, he's an intelligent chap. I mean, that was Victor Matfield's skill always.
Yeah.
I don't think he was the greatest jumper. I think a lot of coaches have spoken before is that Victor's skill was always to able to analyze the other team's line-out jumping, and that's where his big advantage was. Whereas Bucky's Puerta, I don't know if he had any analytical skills or even jumping skills. Bucky's knows where we chat from now on from time to time. And then of course the Brumbies beating the Force 1917. Morgs?
Yeah, I call the Force there, I think, actually.
Yeah.
So, I know. This is wide open. I mean, if you look at the results, I think there's more bonus points scored from margins that are close than tries that have been scored. So, I think it's going to be interesting, Super 15.
I think at this stage of the game, of course, game's up and down, it's hard to tell. And then, of course, the final game, the Crusaders. That one got me. I mean, I said last week the Crusaders start slow. And I think if they were really at full strength, they would have done a lot better. Yeah. I would have expected the Blues to win this one. I was wrong. My prediction took a knock there. Mr. H, you had the Crusaders, even if they were playing against Alexander the Great's army, you would have picked the Crusaders.
At one stage, I was in 7th place on the.
You were at one stage 7th place on the Super Brew log?
Yeah, I don't say where I am now.
Folks, you want to stay close to your cell phones right now. I'm going to give away some more fantastic prizes courtesy of Mesa in a minute or two. That's going to come up. Our plasma screen winner, I'm going to announce that plasma screen winner. So if you were watching last week, you'll be happy to know that you might be the winner tonight. I will announce that a little bit later. In addition to that, I'm giving away a Mesa laptop tonight, a netbook. So, Mesa really coming to the party with some fantastic prizes, and let me tell you, we are having record support on the show for these prizes. So, do not go away. Keep your cell phone handy. And don't forget, we are on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @CapeRugbyTV. You can tweet us any questions. I'm trying to monitor it live as we are online. And go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/CapeRugbyTV. We managed to catch up with one or two of the players straight after the game, straight after the Stormers game, just to get a little bit of the atmosphere and see what the boys have to say there. Let's see what the boys say after the match.
Please, Cape Rugby.
Hoe is het gegaan?
Ja, vooruit gegaan, hè. Een beetje gemorst in die middel van die game, maar gelukkig aan einde die mannen karakter geweest. So, I'm blij met dat.
Is je happy?
Ja, dat is bij wat is nog veranderd.
Endresult.
Happy oor die endresult, maar het is nog bij. Samen met werk is een lang seizoen, so hopelijk kan ons aan maandag gaan weer alles wegmaken.
Alright, good luck.
Thanks.
Dank je, JP.
Hoe is het gegaan?
Ja, vooruit, daar moet volle 80 is gegaan.
Great game, Tom.
Ja, is goed. Goeie uitslag voor de eerste game.
Jerome, as hulle verloor, strek tonnel toe, né?
Ja, want die afrigter wil onmiddellik praat.
Hy wil.
As jy nog tyd
Is that why it is? Okay. No, but I noticed that the Stormers did a little bit of a walk around the field, shaking hands with the fans. It's nice to see that for a change. It's long overdue that we have professional players who actually come off their pedestal and actually go around and say hello to the fans.
Yeah, no, that's very good, JP. I mean, the people spend a lot of money to come and watch them.
Yeah.
And that's basically, I always said, that's basically the people that pay their salaries. So you must give back sometime to that people. So that's a good thing. I mean, in the past, there wasn't any fence at Newlands, so the people were just running on the field.
I remember that. Yeah.
Takes 20 minutes for you to get off the field.
Yeah.
So now the players, at least, they can go to the fence and walk and talk to the people. It's great.
Yeah. And Mr. H, you're doing some together with Discovery. You're doing some social initiative stuff. So you're bringing kids to the field. They get to meet the players after the game.
Yeah, that's it's fantastic for those kids. We had 50 of them there on Saturday.
Yeah.
and they meet the players, they go into the change rooms, we give them goodie bags. It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And those kids all come from previously disadvantaged
Yeah,
backgrounds, so they would probably never have been to Newlands in the past.
They would never have the opportunity to come there.
Yeah. Great social experience, and of course that's part of the culture and history of Newlands. To think very carefully before we walk away from that experience.
Can I ask Jerome just one question? The malls.
Cavendish, Tigerberg, Kenilworth.
We haven't seen that kind of thing from the Stormers in a long time. Yeah. They just took the Hurricanes apart. Was the Hurricanes weak or?
No, they spent a lot of time pre-season on that mall, which is a good thing. That was always a strong point of the Stormers, so they brought it back. Especially 10 meters from the opposition try line, you're supposed to go score because your opposition can't pull it down. If they can't counter that, then it's difficult because it's a penalty. You can even get a penalty try if they do the same thing over and over. I just think that there was at one stage where both the props were off and we had a penalty and we made a 5-man line out where we could have put all 8 in there and scored easily. And but yes, they worked a lot on that, and it started to work now. And I think that's one of the things that I mean, everybody was always talking about the Stormers pack, and they actually took teams.
I've got to ask you about the mall. I mean, it's an interesting question but Jerome, when they do the mall, it always seems like, I mean, I know the tallest guy will always stand higher above, but I remember the days of Rob Linder playing for the Stormers, and you got guys like Andries Becker. And when they're mauling, there's always that one guy. It's almost like he's the pillar.
He's the driver.
Is dit hoe dit werk? Want hy staan daar soos hy nou agteruit beweeg. Hy staan daar so en hy ruk mense links en regs.
Ja.
En dis alles oor of hy kan opstaan en opbly.
Ja, nee, dis sy werk wat hy moet doen. En dan is daar ook nog 'n ding wat kan gebeur as die ouens goed sek en hy vat hom grond toe.
Verduidelik gou vir ons fans wat nou nie baie wat is 'n sek?
As 'n een man mag in die lyn staan, mag een man die springer aftrek. Sodra hy sy voete op die grond kry, mag hy hom aftrek. Maar daar's verskillende maniere hoe hulle nou doen. En die Stormers het 'n manier wat hulle nou doen waar meeste van die ouens hulle bind nou deur die bene. Maar as dit kom en hulle trek vir Andries weg, het jy al gesien die mol gaan nog altyd aan.
Right.
Want dan bind hulle nog altyd en dan die mol vorm dan soos 'n skram. Presies soos 'n skram waar die agste man agter is en beweeg.
En dis hoe kollisie geskooi.
Ja, en dis moeilik om daarby uit te kom. Die enigste manier om daarby uit te kom is om van die kant af te kom, dan is dit 'n strafskop.
Ja.
Of as jy nie tyd genoeg is, soos die Stormers baie styf teen mekaar is.
Ja.
So jy kan nie, daar's nie 'n manier om dit te counter behalwe om nog 'n strafskop af te gee nie.
Ja.
So dit is baie tyd.
En hoe mense sien dit baie keer, daai mol gaan en iewers skielik blaas hy skeieregter. Soos ons het gesien 'n penalty try, die ouens was op pad en ons sien dit baie. En wanneer jy sê dis nou hulle collapse die mol as prins. Wat is dit wat dan gebeur? Probeer die ou se been uitvat wat hy nie mag doen nie, of val hulle per ongeluk voor die mense, of wat is die redes waar die penalties kom?
Daar's verskillende maniere wat afrigters sal sê vir 'n ou. Die skeieregter kan nie sien nie, dan sal een ou wees wat net onder sal lê.
Soos van 'n fake fall.
Ja, net daar maak
as 'n sokkerspeler
en dan gaan almal oor hom.
Hy maak so 'n Manchester United sokkerspeler.
Ja, maar sodra die ding beweeg het, dis eintlik dom van 'n afrigter om dit te doen en almal probeer dink hulle gaan wegkom en nie. Maar sodra die ding beweeg het, as jy nie die eerste keer val nie, daar's nie 'n manier jy kan weer val nie. So die skeieregter stel dit op, maar dis baie tegniek en dis nogal redelik werk wat daar ingaan.
Right. Folks, we are on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. If you want to throw any questions in our direction, we'd love to get them out. Let's take a look at some of the... Okay, Wimpy Bosse het nou net vir ons gevra, JP, wat is op die show vanaand? Wel, sien jy dit nou, Wimpy? Kom ons kyk gou na die logs daarso. Let's take a look at the conference logs. Of course, the Super 15 is broken into 3 different divisions now. South African Conference log. At the top of the South African Conference then, Of course, the Stormers are sitting on top, as well as the Bulls and the Lions, all on 4 points, and the Cheetahs and the Sharks making up the rear due to their losses. The Australian Conference, the Reds, the Brumbies, the Rebels, the Force, and the Waratahs. And in the New Zealand Conference, it's the Highlanders, the Crusaders, the Blues, the Chiefs, and the Hurricanes. Now, let's take a look at the overall conference. Of course, all those three come together now into the overall log to see how they're doing. And top of the log on the overall conference is, of course, the DHL Stormers. I think those bonus points would have come in a little bit handier if they had performed a little bit better in terms of crossing the try line. I know Jean de Villiers commented on that today. Highlanders, the Reds, the Bulls, the Brumbies. And the next South African team that's in the mix in 6th position is the Lions. So, of course, there's points difference and so on, folks. It makes a big difference here, which is probably the reason why the Stormers are on the top of the points difference. We didn't show you that there. And then the Hurricanes, unfortunately for them, and what a great bunch of guys. The Hurricanes right down at the bottom of the log. We actually caught up with the Hurricanes during the course of the week, but we'll catch up with you in that video a little bit later. It's time for us to take an ad break. And when we come back, we'll take a look at Super Brew. We'll take a look at how you're doing on Super Brew. Don't forget that Mesa competition. I'll be telling you who won that 42-inch plasma screen. And then also I will give away a Mesa netbook, a little laptop, a great laptop, 2 gigs of RAM, 320 gigabyte hard drive, a built-in 3G modem, and a genuine Windows 7 Starter Edition, courtesy of Mesa. Those competitions coming up during the course of the show. It's going to be very exciting to give away that 42-inch plasma screen. Stay close to your cell phone. Those competitions are coming up during the course of the show. Time for ad break. We'll be back with you any second now. Well, folks, this was one of the biggest competitions we've had in a long time, courtesy of Mesa. There, of course, you see the Mesa and the backdrop on the plasma screen behind me now. What a fantastic, fantastic prize. 42-inch Full HD LCD TV. 1920 by 1080 by 16.9 pixels, and of course a resolution of 16 by 9. This week's winner, after tons of SMSs came in to that number 32010, is M. Shearer. Congratulations, you managed to answer that question correctly. That question was, who is the official IT supplier to Western Province Rugby? Now, if you've been to Newlands, you would see the Mesa branding covered all over Newlands. Congratulations then, M. Shearer. We will be in touch with you telephonically, and we will let you know how you have managed to win for yourself a 42-inch plasma screen. What a great, great, great prize. Especially when you're watching Cape Rugby TV, because the show is so big that you need a big TV. All right. Not only did we give away a great plasma screen there and fantastic responses, it is now time for us to give you an additional opportunity courtesy of Mesa. Now you can win for yourself a netbook. All right, this is a Mesa W210 CUQ netbook, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 320 gigabytes of hard drive, a built-in 3G modem, a genuine Windows 7 Starter Edition. All right, you do want to win this prize. It is an absolutely fantastic tool, great laptop, and this is what most people need today. So if you're out there and you want to win yourself a laptop, I don't even want to guess what this is worth. It's probably worth more in rand value than the plasma screen. All you need to do is tell me who is the official IT supplier to Western Province Rugby. Send that name to 32010 on an SMS. So SMS the name of the official supplier to Western Province Rugby to 32010 and include your own name after that, and you could be in the mix to win this prize. You've still got a couple of days to SMS, but start now. All right, you want to get in the mix early. So you want to win yourself a Mesa netbook, SMS the official supplier's name to 32010. Put you right in the mix there. Okay, so great prizes up for grabs, and they continue rolling out. Still prizes coming from Color Tone, prizes coming from Evox Advanced Nutrition. Of course, Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official supplier and presenter of this show, and official supplier to Club Rugby players. If you're a Club Rugby player and you want to get yourself sorted out with supplements, you are sponsored, all right? Of course, Evox are the guys who keep those Stormers on the field. They are the guys who keep the likes of Eben Etzebeth and Andries Becker as big as they are. and help them recover from game to game. Talking about game to game, Jerome, you gave game to game, field to field, and school to school, and one of the exciting things that you had last week was at UWC is you took the Hurricanes coaching team in actual fact, and what a great bunch of guys. We managed to join you there. You took them to UWC. Hoekom?
Ja, JP, ek het gekyk verlede jaar het ek die Stormers se afrigtingspan gehad en ons het heelwat goed gedoen met die klub afrigters en van die skole afrigters. En ek het gedink ek wil net die jaar 'n bietjie iets anders doen. Ek wil die oorsee se spanne vat en kyk of hulle bereid is om dit te doen. En soos jy gesê het, baie goeie ouens en hulle het nie gehuiwer nie, hulle het gesê ja. En ek dink dit was baie suksesvol en die afrigters kon redelik leer van die manier hoe hulle sekere goed doen. En ek dink daar was omtrent so 120 afrigters, amper gesê 1000 afrigters wat baie goed was vir die tyd van die seisoen.
Baie van skole af, van die clubs af en sovoorts wat uitgekom het om. Ek weet daar was 'n paar autographs aan, maar daar was baie coaches wat eintlik nogal belang gestel het in wat die ouens gedoen het.
Ja, definitief. As jy gesien het, die manne het gekom al met hulle notaboekies en hulle het notas geneem. Baie ouens het hulle videokameras gebring.
Ja.
En dis wat ons wil hê in die WP in die klub afrigters. Kry nooit daai soort van blootstelling om met oorsese afrigters te kan praat nie.
Ek moet sê
wat ons wil doen.
Ek moet sê ek was nogal bly om te sien dat jy dit gedoen het, want ek dink as iemand nie daai inisiatief gevat het nie, sou hulle miskien nie gekom het nie. So dit was great om ons te ontmoet en ons het 'n klein video, folks. We managed to make a little video for you just to give you a feeling of what the Hurricanes coaching staff was like. Great bunch of guys. Mark Hammett was very helpful. Let's catch up with them at UWC last week, Thursday, and see what those boys were up to.
JP, ek het vandag hier so die Hurricanes se coaching staff. Ek het vir hulle gevra van die doel van dit is om 'n bietjie nuwe idees te kry.
Thanks very much for the invitation. As coaches, we actually did a coaching course the other night with Wellington, and I said the same thing to them. Our game doesn't grow without you guys, and I know for a fact that how you guys coach and the amount of time you guys put into it is actually a lot harder than what we do. David Gray is our trainer. He's going to take the guys for a warm up for about 15 minutes. Then we're going to do some station coaching. Obviously, in a clean out, sometimes you do need to clean down. Okay, you know, in the past, we see a lot of players that actually go down and get to here and just hold that position. That's now illegal, supposedly. Shouldn't say it's illegal, but how they're going to interpret that is illegal. Okay, so even if there's no one else there, so this strong loaded position now is critical. We're walking, we'll just get to that stops for me to be able to get that knee to there, see what it does to that foot. Gets me really close, eh? So that's what we're going to work on in the later part.
Mark, welcome to Cape Town.
Thank you, it's lovely to be here.
Enjoying it?
Very much so. Yeah, I've been here many times. I think this is my 21st trip to Africa, so yeah, pretty enjoyable. Oh, look, these guys are great, eh? You know, I said at the beginning, you know, like the coaching such a wonderful thing to be able to do, and you know, coming out doing these are sometimes more motivating and more enjoyable than coaching at the top level, because these guys are so keen to learn.
What are some of the key factors there about passing? Depth, okay. Hands up. Okay, well, hands up like this or down? Up. Okay, shoulders in. Okay, eyes on the ball. Excellent.
Yeah, just two each. Eh? No, yeah.
Thanks again, Mark.
Thanks very much. You know, don't get too good, eh? You guys are hard enough to beat as it is.
All right, so a little bit windy out there on the day, but we managed to at least get you a slight feeling of what it was like there with the guys. They were there for Jerome. They were there for a good an hour or so, hour and a half, showing different drill techniques and getting back to some of the basics of what we seem to have forgotten about striking, core, making sure you hit your target in the right way.
Yeah, exactly, JP. I mean, you would know there's a lot of things that you also do with your colleagues and stuff that you do. So the basics, that's what the coaches hopefully what they've learned there, you can't just go into game plans and things like that, what everybody think. The basics of the game is still, that's where it all starts. So that was good for them to see and to take something out of that.
Morgs, from a coaching perspective, you know, when we were talking to, I mean, Elama Urumia, who actually played in the '95 World Cup for the All Blacks.
Yeah, that's right.
And Mark Hammett, of course, he played hooker for, who did he play hooker for?
He played for Crusaders.
For the Crusaders. I mean, these are legends, absolute legends, and a great bunch of guys. All of them played in the highest level. He had a different type of coaching style. He would first thing that he said was that he was so impressed with our youngsters here that they were able to listen. He was saying, whereas opposed to apparently now,
he said they're very humble.
They're very humble. Our youngsters were very humble. But what for you from a player point of view? What makes a difference in a coach? Because he had this way of talking to the players and then asking the question back. Do you understand me? What makes it best for you?
Yeah, look, chaps, I was always a player that I asked a lot of questions and you know, I was prepared. I wanted to learn. And I think that's what Jeremiah was referring to on the video, is that I think, you know, when you have foreign coaches and you've seen these guys play at the highest level and now they're coaching there, there's so much that you can learn from those guys. And I think that's where UWC, obviously, the coaches came out with their pens and paper, is that they came and they wanted to take as much in as possible in that hour and a half that they got. Because, I mean, obviously, you can see with New Zealand, with their skills and with the way they approach the game, they've obviously got something that we can learn from. And as much as they can learn from us, I think we can learn from them. And from this initiative, I think is awesome for that process to sort of, you know, so take place.
Yeah, I've always thought that one of the best coaches are the coaches who know how to deal with people from a relationship point of view. Of course, talking about coaches, and who was announced this year as the Coach of the Year by the Western Province Sports Council and the Western Cape Sports Council was Alistair Coetzee. Alistair Coetzee today did announce his team, his Stormers team, to take on the Sharks over the weekend. Let's take a look at that squad now. Well, Joe Peterson is, as expected, is in the mix there. Chiara Plon on the wing, and we can just bring that slide up with the squad. Jean de Jong is back at centre. Jean de Villiers is captain of the side. Brian Abana goes back to the wing. Gary van Asviaken at fly-off. Of course, Peter Grant is now back in South Africa, but it'll take a little bit of time before he gets back on the field, even though he is fit. Dewald Divenacher, Nick Costa, Dwayne van Muren. Sia Khaleesi gets his big break, and it looks like it. He has certainly got the ability to stay in that team permanently. Andries Becker is the vice captain. He teams up with Eben Etzebeth in the engine room. Brock Harris, Tiaan Liebenberg, Steven Kitsoff. And on the bench, it's Scaro Ntubene, Frans Malherbe, De Kok Steenkamp, Rizam Ka, Louis Schroeder, Peter Grant back from Japan now, and Gerard van der Heever. Kickoff is at 7:10 on Saturday, and the referee is Mark Lawrence. We did catch up with Alistair Coetzee at the press conference today. He announced the team, and of course, Jean de Villiers and Chiara Plon were in attendance with him. Let's hear what they have to say.
What we have to realize, Gavin, it's the nature of the competition. You know, we're sitting without Scala and John Fourie. The Brumbies are without Coleman, a young, exciting player. Sadi Bulls without Sadi. So in this competition, we'll have your injuries first up. But it's important, you know, to have enough depth in this competition. You know, the conferences, and especially the South African conference, will be a tough one. We know the derby games will be close, hard, physical, attrition. We know about that. We've got to adapt. We've got to make sure that we tried, you know, to give our depth enough opportunity in the Currie Cup, and they've got to play now. This is the opportunity in their time. So whoever pitches up here, it will be a tough game. It will be a local derby. It's going to be really a game of attrition, physicality. It will be there. It will be probably close as well. We've planned well, and I'm really happy with our players like Andries Becker, who had 65 minutes, Dwayne Vermeulen, also 60 plus minutes at Dewald Divenacher, played after 8 months, you know, almost the full game. So for us, it's about improving this weekend, and those players are, you know, Johan de Jong also back and Peter back. It's all positive energy for us, and it's a good position to be in.
Ja, ek dink soos Skema gesê het, ek dink dis begin van die kompetisie, almal voel maar mekaar uit. Ek dink cohesion is nog nie daar. Met in die span nie, jy is onder druk om te perform, en op die einde is het maar om net 'n wen te kry en daarna te bou op 3 druk in die bonuspunte. is maar die ou cliché van as jy al jou wedstryde wen deur die jaar, dan sal jy jouself heel soort van bo aan die log bevind. So bonuspunte is maar wat dit is, bonus. En as ons op daai stadium kom, waar ons in 'n posisie is om dit te kan kry, dan wil jy dit graag doen, maar op hierdie stadium is dit net om te wen en om die cohesion in die groep beter te kry.
Looks like that was an interesting press conference there. Of course, John stepping in there for Skalkberger, who's out injured. Mr. H, you were there today. The press conference seemed positive. The guys are certainly excited, but cautious in a way.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you look at the log, you see that you are at the top. You now say, how long can we stay at the top?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that would be extra motivation for them on Saturday. They win, they will stay up there. You know, they win with a bonus point. It makes it so much easier for them. But I just want to refer back to the match on Saturday. The try of Applon is a marvelous way of, he just sort of ghosted between the guys.
Well, one of the journalists actually said today, "Wat 'n mes deur botte." Applon, when he gets that ball in hand, you never know where he goes. I remember people talking about Brayton Paulsen back in the day. He said, "Hy sê 'n stuk seep in die bad, jy weet waar hy is, maar jy kan hom nie in die hande kry nie." But yeah, so there was your press conference today. Allison could see her naming a nice and strong team, but he says that under no circumstances are they expecting the Sharks, even though they lost the Bulls, to come at them lightly. He's expecting, John de Villiers said it himself, they're expecting very, very sore bodies on Sunday, and the Sharks will come at them hell for leather. Of course, Evox Advanced Nutrition is the sports nutrition supplier to the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby. Keeps the players on the field. You have an opportunity to win for yourself a bucket of Mega Grow, and you want to win that. All you need to do is text the word that you see there. At least tell us who is the official supplier to the DHL Stormers, and you could win yourself a bucket of Mega Grow. The Mega Grow is the 5-kilogram bucket of meal replacement. Last week's winner was Dion Phillips. Congratulations, Dion. There's a bucket of Mega Grow on its way to you. That's 5 kilos of Mega Grow. You want to win yourself that bucket? What you need to do is just tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to the DHL Stormers and Western Province Rugby, and of course gives you all your club rugby players, youth rugby players at Western Province sponsorship rates that you can apply for. All you need to do is go to the Club Rugby website, and on the Club Rugby website you'll find the Evox questionnaire. Alternatively, ask your coach, ask your team manager, ask the president at your club to find out how do you get hold of your Evox products. It is as easy as that. That's very important for your recovery. It's important for your muscle growth. It makes you play a lot better rugby. And heaven knows, the one thing that we are struggling with today is eating enough food after going to gym, putting on the weight to become a big, strong rugby player. Not that easy. You need all the supplements that you can get. As usual, we don't shy away from anything in terms of the union. We have the union with us, Mr. Herman Abrams, representing the union. And as a result, it is union on the spot, because the old question in club rugby is, what have you done for the clubs? So union on the spot. I know it's early in the season, but you had a great press conference today with Mr. Ivan Meyer, the Minister of Sports and Culture in the Western Cape.
Yeah, I think it was a first for Western Province Rugby to have a press conference where the local MEC actually comes out and in support of Western Province. All the work that we've been doing, and he was particularly impressed with the areas where we work, and saying that those areas are all the areas that his department has sort of, highlighted as areas where there's many social problems.
I was, of course, at that press conference, and it was incredible to see how many slides were put together that are now outside of what we see in the newspaper, which is the normal stuff on the Stormers. Everything else is in the club rugby space, where we still don't get enough coverage. And if you looked at that, there was youth rugby, there was talent identification, there was high school twinning projects, there was women's rugby, junior rugby, under 12s, under 13s, under 14s, under 16s, the Grand Coma week, the Craven week. I mean, there's referees, there's IRB, coaching courses, level 1, level 2. there's box smart, there's just an endless amount of work that you guys do behind the scenes.
Yeah, and you know, it's amazing to think that in that group, besides the teachers and those that are outside there's actually, if you look at the youth department, there's one person and he's PA. In the rugby, in the club rugby department, there's one person and an assistant. And the referees is one person. So they, I think, you know, all doing an excellent job at the moment.
Well, congratulations on that. And I think one of the things that the minister was saying, that as the Federation of the Year, the other sports federations out there can learn a lot from Western Province Rugby and follow on that model. Of course, it is time for our colour tone now to give us away a prize. Colour tone, of course, our white line fever sports line marker of choice. Colour tone, if you want to win yourself a colour tone hamper, courtesy of Colour Tone, all you need to do is SMS the word Colour Tone to 32010 and you could win for yourself a hamper from Colour Tone, which you can then supply to your club. SMS the word Colour Tone to 32010 and don't forget your club's name and you could put yourself in the mix to win yourself that hamper. Last week's winner was none other than Rocklands. Congratulations to the guys at Rocklands. White Line Fever brings you, of course, the right line paint for your field. You need an environmentally friendly field there. Anyway, it is time now, of course, also for us to take a look at our Super Brew predictions for the week. Let's quickly look at that. In actual fact, let's leave the Super Brew predictions just for a little bit and go straight to our Leisure Hotels competition. So you might as well stay on that cell phone. Leisure Hotels, one of the suppliers to at least to the Cape Rugby show. And if you want to stand your chance to win a night's accommodation at the Strand Towers, all you need to do is SMS the word leisure to 32010 and you can put yourself in line to win a weekend's accommodation at the Strand Towers. Great accommodation, great fun. So just SMS the word leisure to 32010. Now it is time for us to take a look at those Super Brew predictions, and well, I must say it didn't go necessarily as well as everybody thought it was going to go. And Mr. H, this is your first time around on Super Brew. And the funny thing is, even though we were both up and down for a little bit there, we both ended up at what, 42 or something out of 80? Yeah.
You know, the one that threw me away was the Bulls. Same reason.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to win, but I wouldn't support them in any case. So that, and then one or two of the New Zealand things just turned around.
Always on the last minute, eh? Always on. Morgs, any last minute Super Brews for you?
Yeah, James, I think I had one good result the whole weekend, and that was the Stormers. So I think I'll keep putting my bet on them.
Where did you end up on the ranks out of the 85 odd people on Cape Rugby?
We have to say.
You have to say. We have to admit that we make our mistakes. We're not going to be like Nas Puerto who doesn't do predictions.
I'm 72 out of 85, James.
72 out of 85.
But I'm climbing after this weekend.
Listen, the season is long. Top of the log then, folks. Let's quickly look at that Super Brew slide. But it is interesting. We had at the top there, Lundy gets almost 100% right with 12 points. She's ranked number 1. Congratulations, Yandi, followed by Yoda, Mr. T, Krusty, Wilfred, or at least Milfred, JK, Slong. That's a nice name. And Urban, I think you spelled that wrong. It's supposed to be Slung, not Slong. Urban Warrior, Stevie D, and Big Jones. Congratulations, guys. You've done well so far, but we are chasing your tails and we're not going to let you get away just yet. Let's take a look at the fixtures coming up this weekend. It is going to be an interesting match. Of course, the first match coming up this weekend in terms of the games. Chiefs against the Blues. We might as well put those predictions in now. Mr. H, all right, okay. Mr. H, you're going with the Blues? Blues, huh? Yeah. And Hamilton? Must be Blues. Jerome?
I'll also go Blues.
You're going Blues by?
Blues by 8.
Mr. H, are you remembering your scores?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going Blues by?
8.
Blues by 8?
Yeah.
You Blues by 8?
Yes, Jeff. Blues by 10.
Blues by 10. I'm going to go with the Blues by... Yeah, Hamilton. I don't know. Home ground advantage. What do you guys think? First game? I mean, they did pretty well in the last game. I know they lost, but that was a good start. Eh?
Yeah, don't ask me. Every prediction I got last week was wrong. So, okay. but I think I might be right this week.
Superbrew.com, folks. Join our pool. It's not too late. You can get in the mix there. overall winner wins the signed Stormers jersey. I'll go with the Blues by 15. In actual fact, I think that they, considering that performance of last week, they.
And Sunnyville back in the Chiefs, are you sure?
Masanga, yeah, great try from Masanga over the week. Then Sonny Bill's a one-trick pony, man. Until he comes up against Francie Botha, the White Buffalo,
yes.
You know, there's nothing special about Sonny Bill. The Rebels and the Waratahs, Morgs.
No, Waratahs, Japes. Waratahs by 15.
The Waratahs by 15, Mr. H.
Waratahs 10.
Waratahs 10, Jerome.
Waratahs 14.
You see, this is one of those predictions where you think, well, the Waratahs will just do it, you know. And then come the Rebels, and they just on the day pull it off. You know.
The Rebels' first game,
But I think under these circumstances, you have to use common sense, and I would say Waratahs by 12. I'm happy with that. Even though it is in Melbourne. Lions and the Hurricanes. Hurricanes, of course, coming off the loss against Stormers. They're going to be looking to come right a little bit. But they're not a happy camp right now. I saw the media down under were tackling them quite hard. I'm sure Mark Hammett is coming down on these players a little bit there. But the Hurricanes against the Lions couldn't cross the poles. We must be expecting a better performance from the Hurricanes this week. Morgs, Hurricanes?
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a good game. I'm still going to put my money on the Lions. I'll put my money on the Lions by 5.
You're going to go Lions by 5, all right. Jerome?
Yeah, I'll also go Lions, though. I think it's going to be a tough game. They'll obviously work on their discipline this week, try to keep their players on the field. But home advantage to the Lions, so I'll say Lions by 9.
All right,
Hurricanes 7.
Hurricanes by 7. You know what? I'm going to go Hurricanes by 7 as well. I don't think the Lions have got. I don't think the Lions have got what it takes at the moment. They couldn't cross the line. Home ground advantage didn't help them at all last week. Highlands against the Crusaders. Mr. H, I know you're going to go with the Crusaders. Crusaders by how much?
10.
Crusaders by 10. Okay, Jerome.
Crusaders by 5.
Morgs?
Crusaders 12.
Crusaders 12, huh? Okay, I'm gonna swing it the other way around here, and I'm gonna just take a wild shot. I'm gonna go Highlanders. Someone has to go against the grain here, and I know I'm probably gonna take flack for it, but I think I'm gonna go Highlanders by 5. Okay. Of course, another interesting match here is the Reds against the Force. The Force again, sort of a dark horse. You never know what could happen in the day. Playing at home, Force against the Reds. Morgs?
No, Japes, I'm going Reds, Reds by 10.
Any specific reason?
No, look, I think since the Reds, our second game now, and I think they've done well. They did fairly well last week, Pity they just got pipped at the end. So I'm going to give it to the Reds. I think they'll gel nicely.
All right, Jerome?
I'll also go Reds. Reds by 8.
Reds by 8?
Reds 20.
Reds by 20. All right. I'm going to go.
This is a big call.
I'm going to go Force by 5.
Oh.
We'll swim a little bit upstream here. But you're probably making the right prediction there. The Reds.
You might find yourself off the list there.
You know what? I'm changing my prediction. I'm going to go Reds by 15. I'm going Reds by 15.
You got to stick to it, James.
I'll stick to Reds. It's the common sense bet. Probably the mistake that I'm going to make there is the Highlanders one. Cheetahs and Bulls. Morgs.
Yes, James. I think the Cheetahs know how to play against the Bulls. So the Bulls being so young, I'm going to stick my neck out and go Cheetahs by 9.
That is a stretch. Jerome?
I'll go Cheetahs by 7.
Is that?
Bulls 5.
As much as I hate to do it, I must agree with you. I'm going with the Bulls, and I'm going to go with the Bulls by 10. They have got it in there. They just have to bring it out. It's just a question of when. And then, of course, the final big one over the weekend where we'll all be at Newlands. The Stormers take on the Sharks at 7:10 on Saturday. Morgs.
Yes, I always put a draw in there somewhere, but I'm not going to this time. I'll give it to the Stormers by 7.
Stormers by 7. Jerome?
Stormers by 12.
Stormers by 12?
You read my mind. Stormers by 12.
Yeah, Stormers by 12. I'm going to go Stormers by 7. I think it's going to be a tough match. The Sharks, in actual fact, I think it's going to be a very tough match. I think the Sharks are going to come down here and they're going to really give us a very hard time. Folks, for those of you that are out there having watched the show now, you might have seen some of the Club Rugby jerseys up at the back. If you've got Club Rugby jerseys out there and you want to get your sponsors up, this is the opportunity for you to do it. This club show empowers those of you that are playing Club Rugby. Take advantage of it. Make sure that you're getting those sponsored sports nutrition products from Evox. Go ask your coach, ask your manager, phone Faisal Felton at the union and ask him how do you get your Evox products. You're at sponsorship rates. That allows you as a club player, as a school player, as a youth rugby player to put it on. If you want to send us a jersey, we'll be happy to frame it and stick it up the back here. We rotate them from time to time. But what a great opportunity for you to go out there and get sponsorship. And that sponsorship, of course, gets exposed on TV. And that's how you get money for your club. You get money for your club starts having a chance at empowerment. That's what you actually want. Morgs, looking forward to a good rugby weekend. We'll see you at Newlands. Thank you very much.
Yeah, looking forward to Jeps. Thanks for having me.
Jerome?
Baie dankie, JP.
It's great. Mr. H, there's a couple of club rugby friendlies. We can't go through them now, but there are a couple of friendlies out there.
They will now, everybody's starting to get into that frame.
All right. It is going to happen at Newlands over the weekend. Of course, it is the Sharks against the Stormers. It's going to be jam-packed. Follow us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. We're looking for your comments on Twitter, @Cape Rugby TV. Want to see what you have to say. Remember, game time comes. Hashtag is WP Club Rugby. We want to know the scores from everywhere. So the whole community comes together on social media and tells us what is happening in their space. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Wednesday nights live at 9, Rugby in Cape Town. Cheers, bye-bye.